guys. Cool. And now I've heard that little recording in progress, which is awesome. And I'm just going to minimize this chat for now. Okay, cool. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start by just chatting about the new search function. So when you log into your account, you're going to see something that looks just a tiny little bit different. It's not going to be too crazy, but you're going to see this little drop down menu right next to the generate button. So typically this is what it's going to look like. Generate, and you have your little drop down button. So this looks just like it did before. You can enter in your topics right in here. You can click to suggest a topic, but now you have the option to use this little drop down and to select to generate with web search. Now you might be wondering what's the difference between generate and generate with web search. Honestly, there's not a massive difference. AI is pretty darn smart. But the thing with AI is that most models have been trained up until a certain year. So most of them are up until the end of 2023-ish. So if you're searching up things like, best places to go for a walk in Kitchener-Waterloo, or top 10 restaurants in this area, stuff that doesn't really change over the years, you're totally fine. You can generate normally. AI is going to know what it's talking about. But if you ever want to talk about something that's very current, that's currently happening, so something in the news like the election and how that affects housing prices, or upcoming events, or like what's going on right now in California, stuff like that, that's really current. AI is not trained up to that because there's nobody really sitting at these AI companies feeding in information in real time. So what we've done is we've added this ability to generate with web search. So this will make it so that the AI is actually searching the web in real time. So what you can do is you can click and you're just going to select generate with web search. You know that it's on when you have this little red searching with web search right next to your topics. And then you can type in whatever topic you would like to chat about or click into suggest topics. Now for this specifically, I always tell people, I'm like, you need to be specific. Like you can't just be like, oh, coffee shops, for an example. The AI is going to be like, coffee shops where? What about coffee shops? Do you want me to explain to you what a coffee shop is? What do you want me to do with coffee shops? So I always tell people, I'm like, listen, you are the ones that understand your clients better than anybody else. So you know the types of conversations that you're having. You know the types of questions they're asking you. You know the neighborhoods that you're suggesting and why you're suggesting them. You know the talking points. So it's on you. I mean, we have the suggest topic button, which is amazing, but nobody knows your clients better than you do. And be specific about it and be literal about it. So instead of just putting coffee shops, put, what are the 4 best coffee shops in Kitchener to maybe study at, because I know that the city that I'm from has a huge population of students. So that's perfect. I'm being very specific. Now the AI is going to know exactly what it's searching the web for. It's not going to be like, I'm just going to look up the definition of a coffee shop. It's going to look for the 4 best coffee shops in Kitchener-Waterloo to study at. You're going to go ahead then and you're going to click generate the same way you typically would. And as you guys know, most of you who have already generated, you now have the option to choose which days you want to generate for. So it'll allow you to generate up to 7 days at a time. And the reason for that is because there's only so many ways that you can really talk about one topic before it gets too repetitive. So I usually tell people, don't do 7 days in a row. Rather than talking about the 4 best coffee shops in your area for 7 days straight, try to kind of split things up. So if you're doing a 7-day generation at a time, maybe do 7 Fridays at a time or 7 Mondays at a time, just to kind of split things up a little bit. You're also going to select the platforms that you're going to generate for. So let's say we're doing all Fridays, and let's say we're going to do Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. You'll see your bio that you've entered when you set up your profile here, so you can tweak it if you'd like. And then you also have these advanced settings right here. So my advanced settings are always set to random backgrounds and to my colors toggled on. So I'm going to go through the advanced settings with you guys at the very end. This might seem a little daunting right now before we head into the editor. So don't pay too much attention to this right now. Just know that we're going to go through it at the very end. But you do have these options. So if there's ever a time where you're like, oh, I really wish it was doing this, or why is it not adding my contact info? Why is it not adding my colors? More likely than not, it's because you haven't hopped into your advanced settings here just to kind of set some things up. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to click generate. I'm not going to do that because I already went ahead and generated posts for us to play with today. But that's the process that you would take to generate your posts, which most of you are familiar with. Now, the new change with this new web search function is that you can actually see where these posts are coming from. So as you click into your post, so this one, for an example, I did why the LRT. We have this like really cool transportation system in the middle of Kitchener, and why it has kind of made living here and traveling throughout the city a lot easier. So I use that as one of my topics. So as you click into your post, you'll see your post here. Now you'll see a new little button down here. That's a little search button, and it will allow you to view the web sources used to generate your specific post. So as you click into that, it'll show you your sources. So here, for an example, you can see this is referencing the Waterloo region. So their website, and this article is called "In 5 Years, How the Ion Light Rail Transformed the Waterloo Region." This is a case study of the region of Waterloo and how it developed the LRT to connect to its urban cities, stuff like that, revitalizing cities and building sustainable communities, commuting, and the impact of the LRT at Waterloo region. So you can see what internet sources it used to create each individual post. So same as here, this one referenced a blog, 31 perfect date ideas in Kitchener. You can see exactly where, what posts, what articles it referenced, and you can click into those articles as well to read them if you'd like. The one thing to keep in mind here is you don't have to worry. It's not going to reference these posts at all in your social media captions. So this is just simply for you to know where this information came from. You can fact check it. You can look it up online. It's not going to reference this. This isn't an essay. Your post isn't going to say like, as per the 2025 report on the LRT. It's not going to mention anything like that. It's just simply there for you to see what it's referencing. So that's how our new search function works. So I just went ahead and I created 3 different types of posts just so we could kind of play around with them. And what I did was I created one that was a little bit more of a local feature. So here I did the 4 best coffee shops to check out in Kitchener. Then I did one that was a bit more of a stats one. So this one I wrote real estate market stats for Kitchener Waterloo going into 2025. And then the third topic I did with search was events. I specifically wrote down the best events to check out in the winter in Kitchener Waterloo. So I use those 3 topics. I use the search to create these posts. And now what I've done is I've taken the post that it generated, and I just went ahead and I clicked to duplicate it just for this, the purposes of demoing how to use the editor. So I went ahead and I duplicated it. And this is the exact same post all the way down 5 times. But what I did was with each of these posts, I made subtle changes to it via the editor so that you guys could see how you can go from the original post that's generated upon your first generation all the way down to beginner level editing with the editor, down to more intermediate, which is adding your own backgrounds, making it a little bit more specific, down to advanced, which is editing the back of each of them, moving around your overlays, making it super, super local specific, the ability to create collages. We're going to go into that together as well. And then all the way to the last one, which is if you're just like, you know what, we're not using the editor today. I just want to upload my own thing. That's a little more personal, a little more specific to me, how you can just click the upload your own content button and just upload your own image. It goes along with the awesome caption and you're good to go. So I figured we would start with the coffee type of post first, and we'll just kind of go through each of them individually. And I'll show you everywhere from the original post all the way down to super advanced editing and what sorts of things I did in the editor throughout each stage, just so you guys know how you can take it from, okay, your original generation all the way down to really, really hyper specific and really, really hyper personalized and edited. So we're going to click into the edit. We're going to click into view the post. So as you can see, this is the Instagram post. This is the original one that was generated. All of our posts are going to generate a carousel style post to begin with. So the reason being is because carousels and videos tend to perform really, really well on socials. So we've kind of geared towards this carousel style post. It's informational. It keeps your viewer swiping through. So you're always going to see this kind of carousel style post. That's why if you're wondering what are all these images down here, this is just simply each individual post has its own, or each individual, this is a slide in the post. So from here, you can take a quick look at it and you're like, okay, fantastic. I like the caption. It mentions 4 different local coffee shops. Cool. I don't need to make any changes to it. I'm happy with it. Maybe you take a quick look at it. Fantastic. This is what first came out of the AI. The way that it's set up is that if you have your random backgrounds toggled on, and if you have your random overlays toggled on, which we'll talk about in a second, what it's going to do is it's just going to give you a random overlay, which is this text part, and it's going to choose from a library of random backgrounds. Now, what the AI tries to do is it tries to choose things that are relevant to your post. Keep in mind, though, it's not always spot on. So for this one, as you can see, I'm talking about coffee shops. The AI doesn't have any images of coffee shops because it's mostly real estate related. So what it's done is it's given me these really cute little kitchens. And at a glance, I'm like, fantastic. I could totally post this. It's totally fine. If this goes out on my Instagram, nobody's going to look at it and say, oh my God, it's not a coffee shop. Why are you posting a photo of a kitchen? Nobody's going to think that. It's totally fine to go out like this. So if I didn't want to make any changes to it at all, I could easily just go ahead and, okay, I'm happy with this. Let's go ahead and schedule and approve. Now, if I just want to take an extra 2 seconds and just beginner level editing, just tweak it just ever so slightly just to make it a little bit more relevant to me, here's what I would do. So this is the original. I would go ahead and take the original and click into edit template. So I've already done this with each of these posts, but we're going to go through exactly what I did to make them look like this. So here, as you can see, we've got a different overlay. We've got different images in the background. They're not the kitchen anymore. They're more of this kind of city style post. And this is the reasoning why I did that and how I did it. So I went into edit template. Originally, these each had the kitchen background. So right now, I'm just going to go through our editor and I'm going to go through each individual option that you guys have for editing. And then through there, we're going to go through each post together and I'll show you how I used all these options to kind of tweak each of these posts. So this is the post. Let's pretend that the kitchens were back here. You are going to click into edit template and it's going to give you all the different options you have to edit this post right here. These are each of the individual slides in your post. So as a viewer slides through, they're going to slide through and see each individual one of these. And now you have the ability to edit all aspects of these posts. You can delete slides, you can change the text, you can change the colors. All aspects of this are editable, just depending on how much time you want to put into it or depending on how customized you want it to be. So when you log in, your options here on the left-hand side are going to start with your presets. So in your presets, think of these as like templates, so design templates. So you know when you're on Canva and you look up birthday invitation and it'll give you like 20 different birthday invitations that you can choose from, and then you can kind of use that as a starting point to edit your colors and change the text around and stuff like that. That's what presets are. Presets are just a bunch of different templates that if you're like, okay, cool, I just want one of these, whatever. You don't really care too much about the colors. You just want any sort of preset. You can choose from one of these. We also have presets in the form of reels. So these are aesthetic style B-roll videos that loop. So they're around 3 to 7 seconds. They will loop over and over. They have a really great hook on them, something that has to do with your topic. And say you don't want the carousel style post, you want to post a video instead. You do also have these in presets where you're like, I'll just choose one of these. They're already ready to go. Your other option is to save your presets. So as you're playing around, which we'll get to this eventually, as you're playing around, as you're editing your posts, you can go ahead and click to save a preset so that it's something that you can choose from in the future. So here's a bunch of the ones that I've saved in the past just from playing around with it. Maybe something about it, you like the colors, you like the background, you like the way this looks, you want to revisit this design again in the future, you can go ahead and click save. Then through there, your other options are your backgrounds. So if you click into backgrounds, you now have a library here of, I think we're at over 600 plus images for you to choose from. So as you scroll down, you'll see we have a bunch of different images to choose from, all different. So as you kind of click through, you can see that we have these kinds of different groupings. So they're similar images. So like these sunrise images, they're similar images, but they all kind of work cohesively well together. So same as these kind of images that I've chosen here, this all kind of works well together. So what I did for this one specifically was I just went through the big library of background images and I just found something that looked more like a city and more like the city that I live in. So the kitchen was great, but maybe you want to take it one step further and you're like, I want it to look a little more, you know, like downtown. So I just went ahead and I selected each individual one. You can swap the backgrounds here very easily. So you click into the slide you want to change and you simply just click into the background you want to change it to. So it makes it super, super easy for you to just find images that are relevant to your post and just very easily swap them out. They also don't all have to be a different image. You can have them all be the same image. It's entirely up to you. It's fully customizable. You also have the same option for Reels. So you have a bunch of different videos you can choose from. So say you want to do a Reel style post, these will load in a second. They always take a little bit longer than the images. But once these pop up, you can choose any of the videos to post a Reel instead. So these are popping up now. So you can kind of scroll through and find something that's relevant to your post if you don't want to do a carousel style post. And then you also have the option to upload your own images. So we're going to go really like much deeper into that in a second, but just know that if you can't find what you're looking for in the library of backgrounds that we have here, you can very easily upload your own files. So this is everywhere from really nice stock photos you found online, images you've taken yourself. You can upload your logo from here. You can upload your headshot from here. We're going to go through all of that together. So here is kind of your library of all the different images that you save to use in the future. Then we've got our overlays. So our overlays are essentially what your text is going to appear on. We have a bunch of different options here. So this is what I did with mine. The kitchen image originally was this overlay here. And what I did was I just changed it to one that I liked better. So I found this one and I'm like, okay, I like the way that one looks. We're going to keep that. We're going to keep that one instead. So you have those options. Or you can also remove an overlay altogether and have it so that it's just the image left over. We're going to get into that as well, but I just want to give you guys an overview of all the different aspects of the editor. You can also tweak your colors. So this is probably my favorite part of the editor is that you can tweak all of your custom colors on here. So if you have your specific hex codes, you're going to add them into here and you're going to save it as a color palette. We also have a bunch of our own color palettes to choose from. And a bunch of the top team and brokerage color palettes to choose from. So you've got a ton of options, but you can create your own. And as you kind of add your colors, what you're going to do is you're going to click Save Colors and you're going to click Save As. And every time you click Save As, you're creating yourself a new palette. So I always tell people, take some time, shuffle things around. You know, maybe we don't love the way that looks, but we can just tweak this ever so slightly like that. Okay, cool. This is one I want to use in the future. You're going to go ahead, click Save As. It takes just a couple seconds, and the more variations of your color palette, so here's an example in this middle area right here, the more variations of your color palette that you have, the easier it's going to be for you to just simply go, oh, okay, cool, let me check this out, let me check that out. It's going to make your editing in the future a million times easier because you've saved a bunch of different variations of your color palettes. So you have that option as well. And then the final option is you have the ability to toggle your contact information on or off. So here you can add your name, your contact information, like your email, your phone number. These are simply text fields. So just keep in mind, you don't have to write your phone number exactly. You could write a call to action, like contact me. You could write, if you're in California, you could write your DRE number. You could write your team number, your team name, your brokerage name. This is entirely up to you. This is just simply a text. So you can go ahead and write whatever you want. And then you can also toggle this on and off like this if you want it to show up or not, as well as your headshot or your logo. So if you'd like, you can upload your headshot here, or you can even upload your logo. If there's a logo that you want appearing on each of your images, you can very easily do that. So we're going to go through that a little bit more in depth, but I just wanted to give you guys a big overview of the editor in general before we get into the rest of it. So for this one specifically, this was our beginner level status. So basically all I did was I just chose a different overlay for that one. And I just went through and I chose background images that looked more like my city than that original kitchen image that popped up. And then I went and I clicked save and exit and I saved those changes, which we're not going to do right now because now I've messed it all up showing you guys the different options. And that was that. That's how I went from this original one, which was totally fine to post, to this one, which looks a little bit more like Kitchener and matches my color palette a little bit better. Now, our next level of editing is our intermediate level. So say you want to take it one step further. This is great, but you want it to be a little bit more specific to what your post is about. So this post is about coffee shops. I went ahead and I clicked into edit template. I used that original post. And what I did was I went into backgrounds. So remember how I said that you could upload your own images? So essentially what I did here was I went into upload files. So background and upload files. And then I used, which is my favorite stock photo website. It's called Pexels, which I'll send you guys this in an email after the fact. But basically it's called pexels.com. And you can search up anything. So anything that's kind of related to what you're posting about. So here I just simply searched up coffee. And I went down here and I found some cool aesthetic coffee images. These are all free stock photos that you can use. You simply download it to your computer. Really, really easy. You just click the button to download. So I went ahead and I just downloaded a couple of those that I liked. I chose 3 of them and I clicked into upload files and then I uploaded them into my library here. And the same way that I showed you guys that I changed the backgrounds to be that city background, I just simply went ahead and I clicked into my backgrounds and I went, okay, click, let's change this to coffee. Let's do the second one. We're going to do the bean. This one, we're going to do this coffee. This one will leave. This one will do these beans. Cool. This one's going to be back to this coffee. And now we've created just a little bit more interest in here. Now, as the person scrolls through, they see, okay, this is very hyper specific to what this person is talking about. They're talking about coffee. Their images are of coffee. Great. I went ahead and I chose an overlay for this that I thought worked best. And then basically what I did for this one as well, so this is our intermediate level editing. I also wanted to change the text on this one. So what I did was I just double clicked into the text, into the title. So here you'll see options pop up right here that allow you to change your font, your size. You can make it more bold or less. You can underline it. You can change the alignment. So I aligned it to the center and I changed the font to poster. And I think I might have also tweaked the sides of the font as well. And when I was happy with it, I just went ahead and clicked apply all. And that change applied to all of my slides. So now I have this, it only takes a couple seconds. And now I have this ultra kind of specific post to what I'm talking about. It looks like I spent a ton of time on it, even though it literally took me 2 seconds to upload these backgrounds and save the colors, and I'm good to go. The final thing that I did, so this is a bit of an advanced, this is a bit of an additional setting that a lot of people don't actually know about, is in the backgrounds, you actually have these advanced settings down here. So if you open this up, you can actually choose your brightness level of your backgrounds. So I went ahead for this one because they all uploaded, they were a little bit darker. So I went ahead and just went into brightness none to make it super light. And then I double clicked it. So one of the rules of thumb when you're using the editor is when you double click, it will apply your changes to all. So for an example, let's say I want a background to be uploaded to all of them. Let's say I'm like, you know what, I'm going to scrap these backgrounds. I just want this one. you can double click like this and it's going to apply that change to all of your slides. So just always keep that in mind. When you're double clicking, you're applying all. When you're clicking into an individual slide and making a change, it's going to make that change for that individual slide only. But once you double click, it's going to apply to all of them. Same as your overlays. Maybe you're like, okay, I want to change the overlay for one of them. You can totally do that. But if you want to change the overlay for all of them to the same one, you're going to double click and that change is going to apply to all of them. So double clicking is like an apply all. So for that one, that was our intermediate level edit, and it just gave it just that little extra bit of personalization so that we've got these nice little coffee shots and we're good to go. Now we're going to head into the advanced level editing. So this just takes a couple extra steps. And we're going to chat about moving your overlays around, and we're going to chat about uploading hyper-specific images. So what I did here was same thing. I took that original post and I just went into edit template. And here, so we did the exact same thing here by uploading our own backgrounds, but instead of just doing generic coffee images, what I did was I went through the post and I saw which 4 coffee shops it chose. So it chose Matter of Taste, Balzac's, DBLB, and Smile Tiger Coffee Roasters. So I went ahead online and I found an image that represents each one of these coffee shops. And I went into my upload files and I uploaded each of these as a background image. So now I have them in my library, and essentially the same thing we did when we swapped out those backgrounds for the coffee shops or for the buildings. I just went ahead and I clicked into each individual one. I found Matter of Taste and I clicked into Matter of Taste to make that the background. Then I found Balzac's. I did the same thing. I clicked into my Balzac's image and I made that the background. So that way each individual slide matches the background. So it just gives it that little extra bit of attention. The next thing I did was with our overlays, you can move them around. So I went ahead and I just moved the overlay on each individual slide just to kind of give it a little bit more interest, just so as people are scrolling through, they're like, oh, okay, it's not, you know, things are kind of moved around, things are in a different place. It kind of keeps people interested and it shows your background image a little bit better. So I just went ahead, moved those around just like that. I also tweaked, so same way we did the lightness, I went ahead and I just chose the transparency of the images. Super easy, takes a couple seconds, and now it's ultra local, ultra specific. Someone who's in your area is going to look at this and be like, oh, this person knows what they're talking about. This is very local to my area. And then the final thing I did here was I created a little bit of a collage. So at the end, the last slide asks, you know, which coffee spot is your favorite? Have you visited any of these? Share your comments below. So I was like, okay, well, which image am I going to use for this? I could use a generic coffee image, or I could use no image, or I could choose one of them, or I could use all 4. So one of the things that you can do if you want to add more than one image as a background, we actually just recently launched these little plus signs here. So instead of clicking into the image to swap the background, what you can do is you can actually click into this plus sign and it'll take any image you have on here. So including your logo, including your headshots, any image you've uploaded, or any image in the library of background images, and you can use it as a sticker. So as you can see, you can click into the little plus and it actually adds that image onto your post as a sticker. So I just went ahead and simply took those 4 images that I uploaded of the 4 coffee shops and I just went plus, cool, plus, great, and I turned this into a collage. Very, very easily, takes an extra 2 seconds, but it just gives that little extra bit of attention. So this would be our more expert level status of editing. The final thing that I did for this one, which I think actually makes all the difference. So this one here, now we've got, it's hyper local. All the slides look really good. It's good to go. But if you want to give it just that little extra bit of attention, what I did was I went into the caption for this one and I actually went through and I tagged each one of these coffee shops. I found them on Instagram and I just looked up, okay, cool. Here's Matter of Taste, here's Balzac's, DVLB. I tagged each one of them in the post, in the caption. Sorry, in the caption. And then we also have these features down here for Instagram specifically where you can tag users or you can add collaborators. This is not the type of post that you would collaborate on. You don't really collaborate with businesses that aren't directly associated with you, but you can tag them in your post. So I went ahead and I selected tag, and I went ahead and I just added all of their handles to tag them in my post. That way, when this does go out, it will actually notify them that they've been tagged. It will also show up in their tagged images. And it's a good way for your users to just very easily be able to click into each one of these places and check them out. And the reason why I did this, you might be wondering, like, what is the point of tagging another coffee business? What does that have to do with real estate? Like, what is this really worth it? So if you have the time to do this, I love this option. I think it's fantastic. I think one of the most important things about being an agent is showing your community that you are involved in the community, that you know what you're talking about, that you're local to the area, you're not completely oblivious. Like, nobody wants to work with an agent that's visiting that city for the first time. They want to work with an agent who, they're a local, they've been there, they know the ins and outs. So this helps so that as people are kind of scrolling through your Instagram, they see, oh, okay, this person obviously knows what they're talking about. They're obviously local to the area. They can now click into these different businesses. But not only that, these businesses, when you think about human psychology, people like to be acknowledged. Businesses love to be acknowledged. So the more acknowledgement you give others, the more they give back to you. So you're tagging these 4 businesses. Maybe not all 4 of them will see it, but more likely than not, at least 1 or 2 of them will. And when they see that and they're put on a post that's called, discover the best 4 coffee shops in Kitchener-Waterloo, you better believe that business is more likely than not going to share that to their stories at the very least. And when they share that to their stories, who's following local coffee shops in your area? Obviously, local people in your area. So you're reaching more than just the people who are following you. Now you're reaching Matter of Taste's following, or you're reaching Balzac's Kitchener's following. It's just a little added extra way of getting your name out there, a little added extra way of getting more exposure. It also keeps you in the loop. So maybe the next time you walk into Smile Tiger Coffee, they'll be like, oh my gosh, I remember this person. They posted about us a couple weeks ago. Or the next time somebody who works there or works out of that coffee shop is talking about real estate or looking for an agent, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, remember that person who keeps tagging us in all these local posts? Could be a good start. So I always tell people, if you have the extra second, just tweak your caption for a second, tag the account. Just make sure that you're typing the account correctly. So make sure you're actually putting in the handle perfectly. Don't accidentally tag the wrong account. Otherwise, you'll have to go back and fix it. Then your last option is to just scrap the edit altogether. Maybe you're like, I don't have time for this today. I want something more personalized. I want to upload a photo of my team or myself, or a team event that we did, or maybe it's just your laptop at one of those coffee shops. You're working late on a Sunday night, you post something like that. So what I went ahead and did was, instead of clicking into edit template, you're like, I don't want the carousel, I don't want a reel, I just want to upload my own thing. You can go ahead, completely scrap the editor and click into upload your own content. This will allow you to upload an image or a video that you have saved on your desktop. So I just went ahead and uploaded this little image of me at a coffee shop. It's great because it, adds some personality to your posts. If you like to put your face out onto your Instagram, this is a perfect way to do it. And then you still have all the benefits of that caption that it generated. It has a more personalized image for you. So that is our first kind of example of one of the web style search posts that you can do, and then every aspect of editing it. We're going to go into the second example, which is winter activities in Kitchener-Waterloo. So I worded this one very specifically as events to do in the winter in Kitchener-Waterloo, because I wanted it to search for more than just, events in the next week. I thought, if there's not much on the internet right now, in Kitchener-Waterloo about what events are going on in the next week, I wanted to search a little bit more broader. So I just said in winter. Like winter is pretty good. In Canada, winter lasts a very long time. So we've got November until like the end of March. So it's giving it a little bit more to work with. So I just put in winter in my city and I clicked generate. So this is the original post that was created with the AI. No changes have been made to this at all. As you can see, similar to the coffee post, what it's done is it's gone ahead and it's picked a background that it feels suits the topic best. So looking at this, I'm like, okay, this is great. It's the winter, it's a city. It very much works. Nobody is going to look at this and say, oh my gosh, this is so off. You know, I'm not posting palm trees when I'm talking about winter events in Kitchener. So it's totally passable. But me knowing what my city looks like, or maybe I'm being super picky today, I'm like, oh, I just don't love it. It's just not hitting quite as much as I want it to. I can go ahead and further edit it. So if you're happy with this, you can say, okay, cool, let's schedule and approve. I'm totally fine with that. It's a city, it's the winter, good to go. Or I can do our beginner level editing, which is just swapping the background from the list of images that we have in our library and then swapping the overlay. So that's exactly what I did here. I went into edit template and I simply just went into the backgrounds, into here. And then we also have these little tags here, which is kind of fun. So I literally just looked up winter. I went all the way to the end, clicked into winter, and actually maybe I'll show you guys that so you can. Winter. I had to choose the one thing that's like all the way at the end. Oh, there we go. Winter. Okay, so I clicked into winter and then it gave me a bunch of different options for winter. So I just went through and I chose images that I liked that kind of fit what I was talking about. So the reason I did this was because I figured this looks very similar to the suburbs where I live. These are very much homes that would be that you could find in my city. It's in the winter. I just went through and simply went click into the next slide, click, 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 very easily, and just swapped out for images that I liked better. And then I went into the overlays. Again, I just chose a different overlay and I clicked save. And that was simply it for this one. And now it's just one step, in my opinion, better than the first option. So we're going to exit out of that. Now, let's say we want to take it another step further. So now we're going to do the intermediate level editing. So same thing that we did with the coffee shops. We're just going to go into edit template. I chose an overlay here. And what I did in backgrounds was I went and I uploaded background images of just Kitchener in general. They're not specific to the events that we're talking about. I just chose a couple images of Kitchener just so that I could alternate between them to give it a little bit more variety and to make it a little more specific. So I just went ahead and alternated between a couple of images of Kitchener. Fantastic. It's winter, it's Kitchener, it works. Took me 2 seconds to just swap out the backgrounds, change that overlay. I edited the text for this one as well. So I went in and I center aligned it. I changed the font. I clicked apply all, and now I have this nice little Kitchener related post. So that's
I got a question.
Yeah.
You know, when you for the images at the top there, I saw you selected winter, but I was actually looking for winter pictures. I'm in Montreal, right? So
Yeah.
I try to go across that toggle. Is there like a quick search or?
Yeah, so you have to use the little arrow for right now. However, we do have it on our roadmap to add a search to just really easily be able to tag things. So we do have that coming up in the future. A little side note for you guys, actually, which is perfect that you asked this question, is that we actually take feedback from you guys as often as you will give it. So if you ever think of anything, if you're in Montreal and you're like, I would love to see some Montreal images, shoot us off an email at support@RealEstateContent.ai. We actually keep track of all the feedback you guys send us. And then we work towards launching new updates as often as possible. So for the people who've been around for a couple months, you've probably seen that literally on like a bi-weekly, every other week basis, we're sending out new emails just with new launches based off of, you guys wanted the ability to tag and collaborate. or you guys wanted the ability to add your logos or this or that, any kind of thing that you can think of, send it our way. We keep track of all that and we launch as often as possible. So one of the things that is on our roadmap is making it easier for you to go through those filters, because right now they're in alphabetical order, but you do have to use that arrow to just go through it. But we do have it on our list to just be able to like search.
I didn't make it quite to the W there, but
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. That's totally fair. Totally fair. I promise it is on our roadmap.
okay.
Cool.
Hey,
And
Irma.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Thomas. You had another question there.
I saw, yeah, I just want to finish. The pictures I uploaded, okay, now those pictures are only available to me, or is it something
Yes.
that general? Okay.
Only available to you. So everything you upload is your own thing. You can do your own headshots, your own images that you've taken. If you have like an image of your team or your office or your logo, that's only going to be available to you to see.
Okay. And there's no limit, I guess, for now anyway.
No. So it'll allow you to upload 9 at a time, like in one upload, just because it gets you to kind of crop them to be perfect if you want to crop them. But you can keep going. The more you want to add, the better. You're totally fine to keep going.
Right. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, no worries, Thomas. Thanks. That was a great question. Sorry, Kyle. Would you?
Yeah. All good. So, Merlene and Linda, we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. Can you go from start to finish to create a reel? And then after you create that reel, can you adjust the music on it?
Yes. Yeah, we can totally do that. You know what? I'll actually come back to that at the very end. Just so we're almost done this one and then almost done the next one. And then we'll go through reels at the very end. Is that okay?
That's perfect.
Cool. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So this one is going to be our advanced. So similar to the one we did before, basically what I did was I just found different images that represent each of these different events. So Winterloo, this one is Princess Cinemas, this one is skating at City Hall, this one is the St. Jacob's Market. So I just went and I found these images online, cheering for your local sports teams. And then I just moved this overlay up here. I squished it a little bit. I changed the font. Super easy. Same thing we did with the coffee shops, just makes it a little more personalized and a little more personalized, and just gives it a little bit of that like extra attention. So you can do the same thing here for tagging if there is anything you can tag. So I think for this one, I did the St. Jacob's Market. I tagged them here. Actually, I can see right here. I did the St. Jacob's Market. I did the Princess Cinemas, and then I did one of the local sports teams. So same thing that I did with the coffee shops, just give it that extra 2 seconds to tag. And then again, the final one is you like the caption, you just want to put in your own personal thing. So I went ahead, I uploaded an image here of my dog at one of the kind of downtown Kitchener parks. I'm like, perfect, I'm going to send that one out. So that's your other option, is if you want to put something a little bit more personal, but you want to keep that caption, you can go ahead and do that. And then our final option, so I'm going to go through the easier ones with you guys super, super quick now that you kind of get the gist of it, and then we can move into the reels. So basically for this one, I did, I specifically wrote down real estate market stats for Kitchener-Waterloo going into 2025. So I wanted to be very, very specific. I didn't want to be like real estate stats or Kitchener-Waterloo real estate, because how is the AI going to know what to search if it's just looking up a real estate? So I specifically asked for stats, and then this is what it gave me. So it gave me some slides that just talks about how interest rates are going to be lower, homes are going to be a little bit more affordable. Here are some interesting neighborhoods to keep an eye out on. And at a glance, I'm like, fantastic. This looks like it could be a neighborhood in Kitchener. I like what I'm seeing. I like the sources. I like the caption. We're good. If I'm okay with that, I can go ahead and schedule and approve. If I want to take it one step further, what I can do is I can do what I did with the coffee shops and just edit template. I went into the library and I just found kind of more transaction looking images, because I was like, okay, you know what? I kind of want this to look a little bit more like a office setting. I made the background darker with that advanced settings. I chose an overlay and I made the overlay darker with the advanced settings. And then I just changed the font and changed the alignment of the font. And then I applied all, and now I have, just with a couple clicks of a button, I have this new kind of more professional looking post. So these are both totally fine, but this just kind of takes it a little bit closer to what I would want posted. these two are the ones I really wanted to highlight because we have a lot of users who will reach out to us just asking about how do they add a statistics report, or sometimes with your guys' teams, your brokerages, they'll send you like a little data or a little chart of some kind. So this is an example actually from one of our awesome users. Her name's Jody. She had this exact question: how do I add this as a post? So I wanted to kind of give you guys that example and how you guys can do it. So what you can go ahead and do, so same way we've done with the rest of them, you're going to click into edit template. And earlier I had showed you guys that you could delete slides. So essentially what I did was there was a bunch of extra slides from the original post, and I just went ahead and I clicked this little trash can button down here, and I deleted all the additional slides I didn't want, because I was like, okay, I want this to be more about this chart here than about anything else. We're not doing a carousel style post. Then what I did was I took this chart. So let's pretend that this chart from Jody is a chart that I got from my team, or maybe I designed it elsewhere, or the brokerage sent it out, or it's a piece of information I found online. What I went ahead and did was I just uploaded it as a file, as a background. And I was left with just one slide, my first slide. And what I did was I just clicked plus, and it'll give you that slide again. And I just went ahead and clicked into this slide. And now I click into the overlay, and I'm just going to delete that overlay. I did that by just clicking the delete button. You can also go into the overlay and select no overlay for this. It's entirely up to you. Now I have that background image of what was in my original slide, but like you guys have seen leading up to this, I can swap this background for whatever I want. So now I take this chart and I go click into the chart. We're going to remove that overlay again. Click into the chart. Amazing. Now we have that as its own slide. I have my contact information down here that I can keep or remove, entirely up to me. And then what I went ahead and did was with that first slide, I just tweaked the colors, everything that we've learned already. I chose an overlay. I tweaked the colors of the overlay. I edited my font here. And then I also edited the words on this as well, because I was like, okay, I'm no longer doing a carousel style post. I'm doing an informational style post. So I just went ahead and put, thinking of buying your first house in Kitchener-Waterloo with new loan limits around the corner, 2025 might be your year. And then I added that informational style slide to the second slide. So in that way now, let me just delete this extra one. In that way now, when I click to save and exit, now I have this post that just has 2 slides to go back and forth from. It's more informational, and we've got all the things that we want to chat about in this one kind of informational slide. So this you can do with, like I mentioned, info you find online. You can do it with info you've been sent by your team or your brokerage. It just makes it super, super easy for you to share a piece of information like this, but just a little more aesthetically pleasing than like, bam, here's a chart. Now you kind of have a little bit more of a flow. One of the other cool things with this, which I didn't mention earlier, was that when you choose your colors, so say you do upload a slide like this. So these are the colors that came with Jody's. And you want your first slide to match some of these colors, what you can do when you're in your colors is you can actually go ahead and use this little color picker here, which is exactly what I did. So to create this overlay, I went into this color picker and I just hovered, and I just hovered over the green that I wanted. Whoops. Hovered over the green that I wanted, and then it selected that exact green. I did the same for the purple. So that way my title slide matches my informational chart a little bit better. So you can do that. Then the even more advanced version is doing something similar to this, but you can create it from scratch. So some other options that we have here, which we haven't chatted about yet, but with everything that we've learned leading up to now, we now know that we can upload images. So if you upload your logo on a transparent background, or if you upload your headshot on a transparent background, you can also upload it onto your post. So what I did here was I took this headshot of one of our awesome users, Oliver, and I uploaded it here. And then I also uploaded our logo. So let's just pretend this is your team's logo uploaded. And so what you can do is you can click that little plus like a sticker. So let's find Oliver down here. You can click that little plus like a sticker and place yourself anywhere on your design. Makes it super, super easy. Same as your logo, you click that little plus, use it as a sticker. You can place it anywhere you'd want on your design. Makes it very, very easy. Just move things around. I then chose an overlay that I liked. I chose an overlay through here and I made that overlay the darkest that it could be so that it looks like this. And now you're probably looking at this and wondering, wait, how did you get Oliver on top of the overlay, but behind the contact information? So this is the like super, super advanced side of things, is you can actually right click into each element on the post. So you can right click into each element and it will actually give you the option to control the layers. So what I did was I just sent Oliver back, sent Oliver forward, sent the contact information back and forward, just depending on where I wanted it to land on that image, there. So you can totally customize it. You can move your fonts around, all that good stuff. And then I think now that I've been playing around with it, I've screwed up my second slide. So I'm just going to go back in to edit. And the thing I did with Oliver's here was I created a second slide. Same thing. I just removed that overlay and I added these little stats here. So let's say you just want to create your own little slide instead of uploading one into upload backgrounds. What you can do is you can go in and you can click add text. So see this little button up here? This will actually allow you to add text from scratch. And through there, you can double click the same way you could with the text on the overlays. And you can choose your font, you can choose the size, the boldness, where you want it to show up. You can move it around, which is exactly what I did with these made up stats here, was I just put a title for what the stat was and then the stat, and I changed the colors around. So you can totally do that with your own stuff. Even if you just have one quick stat that you want to share. So something like, the average home is selling for X% more. I just saw a post like this while I was scrolling through Instagram the other day, and it was just like one statistic. You could totally just create a slide, choose your background, create just one statistic and post it as your post without having to go into these crazy editing softwares and make it from scratch and all that good stuff. So you have those options.
That's amazing. I mean, you blew my mind on that one. With the overlay, I really love the idea though.
Awesome.
Can you save that preset?
Yes. So if you like that, so let's say we're like, okay, I like this, I want to use this again. What you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and click save preset, and you're going to save it as a new preset. And now when you log into your accounts, let me just restart this. Now, when you go into your saves, I think I need to give this a little refresh. Now, when you go into your saves, you're going to find all of your saved presets. So these are the ones I showed you guys before, and this is the new one down here.
Okay, so I can have my pictures, I save the preset, and then I can reuse that thing, the same. Oh,
totally. So say you want to use this again, but you want to do like a February stats or whatever. You can literally go into here, change it to February stats, change your background to a more February related background, and then click to publish it.
right, that saves time like crazy.
Totally. I actually really recommend to people to use the save preset button as often as possible, because the more saved presets you have in here, the easier it makes editing all your posts in general. Like if you want, so say you want one design for your whole day and you've worked really hard on that one design, like you're like, fantastic, I love this. Now I want this to apply to my Facebook and my Instagram. And you don't have to do that from scratch. You just save it as a preset. And then as you go into your Facebook, you just choose that preset and click apply and you're good to go.
Can you make it a default preset?
So we do have that option. When you click into generate, you can choose to generate with your saved presets. The only thing is I usually tell people not to use that because your variety is going to be very limited. So say if you only have like 10 saved presets, it's only going to choose from those 10 saved presets.
Right.
So until you have like hundreds in there for you to like really give you a variety, I usually say just go into them and kind of click.
Okay.
Cool. So then your other option, I'm just going to say one more thing before we go into the reels. So the same way we did that little stat thing. So let's go down. The same way we created that little stat slide. I also tell people that this is a great way for you to share your Google reviews. So think about all the options you have in the editor that we just went through. You can change your background, you can change the text, you can change the overlay. Why not use those options to create a little graphic image for your Google review? So you would just simply take any background, take any overlay, copy and paste your Google review into the text part. So this one, I just wrote something super quick, like Robert was fantastic to work with. The only agent we trust. And I put it into a specific font. And then I put Sandy and Sam Smith. Super easy way for you to turn your Google reviews into a little graphic that you can share without, doing a ton of work. And then you just make your own caption and you're good to schedule it. To post. So that's another kind of thing you can do with this is just create posts from scratch, which is really cool. Even like tips and tricks or your favorite quotes, maybe you have you share inspirational quotes on Mondays. I know one of our users, Erin, she does that. She does motivational Monday posts and she'll just create her own little images. So you can do that. And then you guys were wondering about Reels. So I'm going to go into just any one of these posts and play around with it. So making Kitchener-Waterloo feel like home. So you click into the editor and maybe you're like, I don't want the carousel style post today. I want to go into the Reels. So remember, you can go into the Reels and you can choose from one of the preset Reels. So this will come with a color. This will come with a sound. So let's say we decide to do this one and I'll turn the volume up. So if you like that, you're like, okay, cool. Hopefully you guys can hear this. I hope so. But there is a sound. So let's say you like this and you're like, I don't need to make any changes. I'm good. I can go ahead and click save and exit. Or maybe you like the video, you like the sound, you just want to change the color. No worries. You just go into colors, change the color. Or maybe you like the video, you like the color, you want to change the sound. Really easy. You just click into the sound here and you can go through this kind of list of audio. So maybe we like that better, or I like this one the best, actually, the green to blue.
Can you upload your own audio?
No, so you can't upload your own audio. Audio is actually a super tricky one. So even with this here, we're directly built off of Meta's API. So everything that they allow us access to, we can build off of. They are super stingy with their audio. So they do not allow anybody access to the trending audio. Like absolutely no way. We can't tap into it. It's something we're keeping an eye on, but even creating this, just because we work with like the most incredible developer in the world, and he was able to kind of work around it and create these own sounds for us. But it is very, very difficult. As of right now, Meta does not allow any access to their audio library at all. So it's something that we're keeping an eye on, but we're kind of working within whatever their limits are. That being said, one of the things we are looking at right now is in backgrounds. So your guys' ability to upload your own videos. So that way, Fred, I know you take a lot of your own videos. That way you'll be able to upload your own video and then type on it and stuff like that. And your audio will be uploaded from the audio in the video. So that's something that's definitely coming down the pipeline.
Great. One of my questions I was going to ask if y'all are still working on that.
Yeah, we are for sure. It's definitely high on our radar. But until then, for those asking, for anyone who is uploading their own videos, you can do it the way that I uploaded my own images. So you would click upload your own content, and instead of uploading your own image, you would just upload whatever video you've taken. Obviously, it would need to be edited before you click into upload your own content, but we do definitely, it's high up on our radar to have it in the editor to be able to upload them for sure. That's really high up there. Okay, I'm going to take a second now to expand this because I'm sure Kyle is probably like, Irma, you need to learn how to monitor this chat while you're presenting. Okay, cool. So let me just see if I've missed anything. Of today's training, ability to add polls in the future. Yeah, so that is a Meta specific thing. It's not something that's currently supported by their API, so you have to do that directly on their app. I think Kyle's actually gotten most of these. Let me see. I think a few just came in. Okay, will the app format the reel for different platforms? Yes, it will. So you'll get the ability to upload it for each individual platform. It's going to post as a reel for Instagram. It's going to post as a video for Facebook. LinkedIn too. It posts videos to LinkedIn. I don't love videos for LinkedIn. It's entirely up to you. And what was it? Are we talking there? Sorry. This one is, if we upload our own video and we have sound on it, like we are talking, or there is music, will it also? Yes, it will. So if you upload your own video from scratch, it has you talking or your own music or any edits you've made, all of that will be uploaded. You won't lose the audio to it. We just don't have the ability to add from Meta's trending audio. Cool. Okay, you know what, you guys, I feel like I'm not going to be able to go through to the top. I feel like Kyle has covered most of it from what I see. If you guys have any additional questions, just drop them down there in the chat and then we can get to them right now in real time. That way, I think that'll be the easiest.
I don't know if you guys heard, but in the US, the Supreme Court upheld the TikTok ban.
I saw that just before I got on this call. Yeah.
And TikTok also owns CapCut.
Yes.
So if you use CapCut to edit your videos, start learning something else because it's going to go away.
Yeah, I love that. I'm still kind of waiting to see some sort of last minute bait and switch. Like, just kidding, we're not getting rid of TikTok. But I don't know. I'm very, very interested to see how this whole thing plays out. Is anyone here on TikTok, by the way? Is anyone like heavily focused on TikTok or wanting to get on TikTok? No, Sharon says no.
No.
Leslie says.
But I love CapCut. That's an amazing simple editing program.
Yes, CapCut is awesome. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that all plays out, but I completely agree. Definitely, if you guys haven't yet looked for an alternative, maybe start to, just because we don't know how this is all going to play out. That's for sure. Okay, let me see.
Irma, we got three quick ones here. So number one is blogs. So we want to do a quick thing on blogs. And then number two, we have two people asking about removing the contact bubble from only one slide. So how to...
Perfect. Okay, cool. So I'll demo blogs for you guys for contact info. So if you just want to remove it from one slide, you can click into contact info and just click your delete button on your keyboard. So you can totally just delete all elements like that. You can delete overlays like that. You can delete text like that. Just click into it and then click delete on your keyboard. For blogs, hold on, let me move you guys out of the way here. Okay. For blogs. Okay, so I have some blogs generated here in yellow. Blogs are generated the same way that normal social media posts are generated. So basically you just go into generate. You're going to choose the day. So the day doesn't matter. We can't integrate with blogs quite yet anyway. It's something that we're looking into, but if you go into our integrations, you can actually see what we can and can't integrate with. Blogs we can't, reason being is because there's just so many different website hosts and blogging platforms that like everybody is on something different. Some people are on custom sites. It's a lot to navigate. So it's something that's on our radar, and we're thinking that we might just slowly kind of, start with Squarespace or start with one of the like more common ones and then work our way through it. It's going to be really hard to integrate with every single type of platform. But in the meantime, you can generate SEO optimized blogs literally within a couple clicks of a button. Super easy. You're going to click generate. You can choose any date you want. So let's go, because I'm in February. Let's go the 11th. Let's go a blog. You choose your topic. You're going to go ahead and click generate. It's going to generate the same way it does your other social posts. The same way it does your other social posts. We'll give it a second just to upload everything, or maybe I'll just click into one of the ones that I've already done in the meantime. And as you can see, as you click into it, you'll see the blog post here. It's completely SEO optimized. You can go ahead and click copy caption. That'll copy the entire blog for you. And then whatever platform you use, you just simply paste it into whatever blog hosting service or platform you're using. You can also use this as great content for newsletters if you want to repurpose it for newsletters. Super, super easy. You just quite literally hit copy caption. So ours is done here. Same thing for top coffee shops. It goes into all of them and the benefits of them. And then you can go ahead and click to copy caption. One thing to keep in mind for this is that it's just going to generate you any kind of AI image. Obviously this doesn't integrate with your blog, so this is just a placeholder image. If you like it and you want to use it, this is still generating, but let's go back to that dance one. If you like it and you want to use it, you can go ahead and click save image as and upload it to your computer and then put it onto your website. However, that being said, I'm not a huge fan of these blog images. I think they're just mostly placeholders. I prefer to use Pexels, the one that I showed you. So I think this is really slick on a blog. I think it looks better on your website. Something like this, really, really nice. Takes 2 seconds. You just simply look up whatever your blog is about, download it. And then when you are putting it on your website, you can put it on that way. Let me go back to that chat now. Need to manually download. Captions.ai allows for various editing. Might want to look into that as an alternative to CapCut. Okay, cool. Good to know. That's really good to know. We need to delete on the contact bubble for that one slide. Didn't work, just tapping delete on my keyboard. Oh, okay, Shannon, it might just be different depending on what kind of computer you're on. I'm on a Mac, and it works with just the delete. Do you have suggestions for the best topics to post for LinkedIn? I find it's quite different than social apps like Facebook and Instagram. Yes. Okay. So, okay, Shanna. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yes. Yeah. LinkedIn definitely is different. I recommend that every agent be on LinkedIn if possible. I know earlier we had talked about TikTok and I was like, who here is on TikTok? I would recommend nobody be on TikTok because it's a waste. It's a complete waste of your time, in my opinion. I don't think you're going to find clients on there. I think it's a lot of work for very little return. And it's just, no agent has the time to go viral on TikTok. And even if you do go viral on TikTok, if it does stick around in the States, so what, you go viral in Australia, cool. None of those people are ever going to become your clients. Like TikTok is a waste of your time, in my humble opinion. LinkedIn though, LinkedIn is a fantastic place for agents to be. A lot of them are not using it. Think about who your clients are. A lot of professionals are on LinkedIn, a lot like that. That's the place you want to be. TikTok is where the kids are at. TikTok is fun. LinkedIn is where your clients are at. So I definitely recommend being on there. I wouldn't do like local one, like very, your top 4 coffee shops. I would do more of your kind of market stats. I would share more of your reviews on there. I would share like not case studies, but maybe you post something about the importance of working with an agent who understands good customer service. Maybe that's a topic that you use. And then in your caption, you just tweak it ever so slightly to give them an example of a client you just recently worked with. So use the slides that it comes up with about the importance of working with an agent who has fantastic customer service or who's local to the area or whatever. And then just in there, just put in a tiny little paragraph blurb. I was recently working with this family and this is what happened and blah, 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 quick little paragraph. It ties it back to your LinkedIn post. Looks really, really good. LinkedIn, I don't know if I would post 5 days a week on LinkedIn. I think that's a little overkill. I think you could easily get away with posting just a couple times a week. And with LinkedIn specifically as well, LinkedIn is the place that you want to go on and you want to, Kyle has a very great strategy for this, to connect with others who are local to your area. So for me, for an example, I live in Kitchener. It's a massive startup city. Google's here, Shopify's here. What I would do is I would go on my LinkedIn and I would search up Google Kitchener. I would search up Spotify. I would search up young professionals who I know are working at good jobs in the area, and I would connect with them. You don't have to send them a DM. I wouldn't send them a DM. I think it's actually a little jarring when a salesperson sends you a DM on LinkedIn, but people are more open to random connections on LinkedIn because that's the whole point of LinkedIn. People want to connect with other people on LinkedIn. People definitely want to connect with other professionals in their area. So as soon as they see, oh, Irma from Kitchener, okay, she's connecting with me because I'm also from Kitchener, fantastic, connect. And you build your connection that way. Don't DM them. It's too much. Don't DM them. You have them as a connection. And now they're going to see your posts as you post them over the years, over the months, as they post their own things, just like engage here and there. Oh, congratulations on your new job. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. You just want them to remember your face. You want them to remember your name so that when they are ready to transact, whether that be 3 months down the road or 5 years down the road, you're top of mind for them. They're like, oh, I know a realtor that's local to me. type thing. So yeah, I would do kind of more professional style posts, like the importance of good customer service, the importance of working with a local agent, talk about interest rates, talk about the best neighborhoods in that area, talk about why, you know, young professionals are moving to this area, why, you know, startup founders are moving to this area, why it's great for people, it's great for teachers, it's great for whatever, like try to kind of talk about your area and the benefits of it for certain professions. You could do that as well. Yeah, but I think LinkedIn is definitely, if you're not on LinkedIn, get on LinkedIn. That's a good one. A really good one.
I would maybe do, and I don't know if this is what you guys do, but it might maybe kind of interesting
Yeah.
is to have maybe a webinar where we focus on just one social media platform,
Yes.
like what's working, what the rules are, what to highlight, you know, because everything changes so frequently. I just can't keep up anymore. And so it'd be nice to just kind of go over the rules maybe, you know, and like,
Totally. Sharon, 100%. So we've done this in the past. Last year, Kyle has given a LinkedIn specific one, but this is definitely something, if you guys are interested in this, actually, if you guys are interested in this, you just want to quickly type a yes or a no, just something like that in the chat, because we definitely are, for 2025, our goal for this year is to put more of these webinars out. We did them kind of sprinkled in here and there last year, but we really want to try to start focusing on these more, especially for you guys, just because you are users. Like, we want you guys to just absolutely crush it this year. So if there's ever anything you guys want, like if you want more of these, if there's something specific you want, shoot us a message. 100% we'll do that. I love the idea of like a LinkedIn focused one, an Instagram focused one. We have a ton of really awesome strategies for engaging with people on Instagram. Lots of our users ask about how they can get followers on Instagram. And it's like, literally all you have to do every day is just follow local businesses, follow their followers. That's it. Take some time to do that. Take some time, rather than doom scrolling when you're on the toilet, take some time to scroll and just interact with those people. Those people are all local to you. If they're following the local gym in your neighborhood, more likely than not, they live in your neighborhood. Just a small, takes literally 2 seconds. It's so impactful. That's how you're going to grow your following. There's so many little things that you can do like that you're right. It's just, things are changing so quickly, and it's often stuff that we don't even think about. We always think like, oh, we have to go viral in order to get followers, but really it can be a lot easier than making a video that goes viral.
That's fine. You guys find out how often we should post on LinkedIn. I know you said 5 days overkill, but I mean, if
Yeah,
the system is built that you can actually just, you know, get the every day there's something going.
yeah, you can totally do every day if you want to do every day. For LinkedIn, I don't know. I would do like 2 or 3 days and see how it goes. I don't think you have to do the full 5. I think 2 or 3, but putting a little bit of extra effort into that 2 or 3 might be more worth it on LinkedIn than the other platforms. The other platforms, I'm like, put things out, put as many posts out as humanly possible. Doesn't matter if they're perfect. For LinkedIn, I'm like, you know what? Take a couple extra seconds, perfect those posts, have them go out a little less frequently. And I think that those will go a lot further than you think.
Okay, so LinkedIn, less often, more detail. The rest of the other ones you can post every day, once a day at least, right?
Totally. Oh my gosh, yes, totally. Especially because the algorithms on Instagram and Facebook are not chronological. They're just all over the place. So posting times don't really matter. A lot of the time people ask us like, what's the most optimal posting time? And I'm like, you know what? If you're only going to post twice a week at the optimal posting time, you are way better off posting 7 times a week, 3 Instagram posts a day, and just hitting people more often. Like, people are more likely to see your post if you have a quantity of them go out than a couple quality posts, just because of the way Instagram is. It's like,
So you bombard them and then
yeah, like if you scroll on your Instagram right now, you're going to see posts from 48 hours ago, posts from 5 minutes ago. It's all over the place. You're like, you know what, just hit them as much as possible.
all right.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, cool. I just realized that we went 20 minutes over, you guys. Oh my gosh. See, Kyle is so much better at this. He can monitor the chat and the timing and everything. I'll get there eventually. After we've had a couple more of these, we'll get there eventually. Okay, cool. If anyone has any last minute questions, definitely make sure to plop them in the chat there. Otherwise, if you think of anything after the fact, you can always reach out to us at support@realestatecontent.ai. I'm going to write that in here actually. support@realestatecontent.ai. If you haven't reached out to us before, this is how you can. Donald, we're going to send out the recording after the fact via email to everyone who registered. So just check your inbox for that. But I really, really appreciate you guys taking the time. Again, if you ever have any questions at all, feel free to reach out. Me, Kyle, Tiara, we're always available to help you guys. It's really nice actually kind of putting a face to some of your names. I know that we've talked to a lot of you guys over the past few months. But yeah, if you guys ever need anything at all, feel free to reach out to us. And I love the idea of a LinkedIn or a social specific one. Definitely keep an eye out for more of those in the future for sure. Amazing. Thank you guys. Thanks, Tom. That means a lot. Cool. Cool. Bye guys. Have a good Friday and have a good weekend.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks a
Thanks,
lot.
Tom.
That's Irma and Kyle. You guys been great. My second day is here, and you guys I'm already posting for the next 7 days, so I'm good.
Amazing. No, I'm so glad, Thomas. That's awesome. Thanks for being so engaging too. That was great.
Yeah. Cheers. Have a good one.
Bye. See ya. Have a good weekend.
Blessings. Thanks a lot. This has been good for me.
Thanks, Fred. I appreciate that. I hope all is well on your end.
It's working. It's a work in progress, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say you should be the one teaching the backgrounds because you're really good at that. You've mastered that.
Well, I learned so much more today.
Oh,
So,
good. Okay, good.
yeah,
No.
I put in the text message. I can't wait for the replay because I will probably be up all night playing and changing.
Yes. Amazing. Amazing. No, I'm so glad to hear that. And again, like if you run into anything, just shoot us off an email. I'm more than happy to help.
Okay, thanks, Irma.
Bye, Fred. Enjoy the rest of your day.
I'm gonna go away now. I'm gonna try your overlay of the pictures.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, Thomas. Let me know how it goes, okay?
Yeah. No, it's great. I love it. Love it. Love it.
I'm so glad. I'm so
Right.
glad. No, I appreciate that so much. I really appreciate everybody hopping on today.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Popping in
Bye.
here. Thanks, guys, so much. We'll see you all very soon in the next one.
Thanks, everyone. And yeah, Happy New Year, everyone. Crush it this year. Hopefully we'll see you guys on another webinar soon.